We have seen that in Linux, one can type many commands, right? Uh, and the goal is to perform maybe a complex task, right? Like extracting the string in one file and then do some extra post-processing of the searches and even more complex tasks. The good thing in Linux is that one can write all the commands that we have seen up to now into a file, right? And we call this file a script. This is especially useful in our HPC system, which are Linux-based, and they are especially useful because the batch system is also based on Linux scripts. And that's why we call them batch scripts, right? So here you can find the path to the exercises script. And this is a motivational example on what can we do with the scripts and what are the scripts. So basically, this is just a file. I will move to the scripts folder, right? And then we use our editor, yes, to create a file called myfirst.sh, which did with this content here. I can copy this, then open my editor. Then paste this content here. And if you see, here I have several lines, yes, that are related to the commands that we have seen up to now. grep, wc, and this first line, right? Starting with the pound symbol or dash symbol. So that we can execute this file, and we first need to make it executable. We do this with the command change mode. I will go through this line right now, yes, but now I will change the executable permissions. Yeah. And then we can execute the lines, all the lines contained in this script. So, so if we read this file, we see that first it starts with this the so-called shebang, which is the symbol, and then it specifies the type of shell that we are using. In this case, we will use a bash shell, yes, and then we execute the grep command to search for the string abcd inside this file .dat, and we will redirect the output to the file filter.dat, right? And once we have this file, we will use it as the input for WC, which counts the lines or the hits, right? And we will redirect the output to the output.dat. Yes. So here we can search for the output.dat, and we'll see that the ABCD was found 2 times. So you will see the content of file.dat. So we can search for the ABCD string, and we see that there were two strings ABCD in the file, which is correct, right? So this is what I just explained. The first line is the type of the shell, and it starts with the shebang symbol, right? So then we will search for the patterns, and we will redirect it to the output dot file. So you see that this is not so complex, but you can also write more complex instructions into this file script and then make it executable with the command change mode. So notice that with the change mode command, we change the permissions for the file, right? Because if we want to execute the file, which by default doesn't have the executable permissions, Linux will complain, right? We'll need to make it executable. So if we type the ls command, ls-la, we will see an output similar to this one, right? And we see immediately some pattern. Here, it starts with a symbol, which can be D, that stands for a directory, a dash, which stands for as a simple file or a standard file. And also, sometimes you will see the letter L, which means a soft link that was mentioned previously by Rebecca. So after this first letter, we can see three letters, and they refer to the user, and these are the permissions for the file that are related to the user. R means read, W write, and X execute. Yes. The next three letters refer to the group, right? And in this case, it has the reading permission. The group cannot write, and the group can execute. And the next three letters refer to others, which are the rest of the users in the file system. Yeah. And the characters are the same: reading, not writing, and also executing. So we can change these permissions with the change mode command, depending on the needs for that file. Okay? So we saw this previously. Owners is the first two letters. The next three letters refer to the groups, and the next three letters refer to all other users. So here, this is the way to change the permissions. For instance, if you want to give a user all the permissions for the file, then we can type change mode u plus rwx, yes, to give all the permissions. Or if you want to remove all the permissions for that user, then we can type u dash and then remove the permissions. We can also change the permissions individually, as we saw with the my first script, and we can just give the permissions for executing, right? And also remove the permissions for writing and executing for that file. The same can be done for a group and also for others. So this is more elaborated, and this is for making your script more powerful. Yes, and this can be done by using environment, by using arguments on the command line. You can read more about this. Yes. So I am over time, and I will skip this part, which is more elaborated. And comments are useful if you want to document, and this should be done, I would say, because after some time, one forgets about what some script is doing, and it's very useful. So if you want to write a comment, just type this symbol here, yes, and then everything that follows these symbols will be treated as a comment and not as a Linux command. The exception is this special combination, which is the so-called shebang, and this is interpreted as a command line, yes? But other than that, one can include comments, yes, to remember what your script does. These are more advanced examples, yes, to make the script more useful, and using also some uh, regular expressions and wildcards that I mentioned before. So I can stop here, Joaquin.